the mayor of Las Vegas, I'm telling everybody, please come. We love you, we need you, and we miss you.
Las Vegas was once the city that never slept, but in 2025, the illusion truly shattered. Today, $13 pizza slices, $55 resort fees, and shuttered casinos haunt a strip where business bankruptcies mount and nearly 8,000 people live on the streets under neon. Even billionaires are leaving, and federal lawmakers now target the city's iconic pricing, calling it predatory. At the heart of every Las Vegas stay lies a number that seems to grow with each passing year. Resort fees, once a minor afterthought, now average between $40 and $55 per night, tacked onto nearly every hotel bill on the Strip. The advertised room rate might promise a bargain, but by the time checkout arrives, guests face a final total swollen by charges they never truly agreed to. For luxury properties, these fees after taxes can climb to $62 a night. Mid-tier hotels, once the backbone of affordable Vegas, now extract $45 to $50 in mandatory surcharges, regardless of whether guests use the gym, the pool, or even the Wi-Fi. The numbers reveal a business model built on opacity. In 2025, resort fees and other add-ons make up as much as 35% of total room revenue for some operators. SEC filings from MGM and Caesars confirm it. Non-room revenue now outpaces the growth of room rates themselves. Booking platforms, pressured by new federal rules, are finally showing all-in prices earlier in the reservation process. Yet even now, many guests discover the real cost only at the final step, as hidden facility or service fees surface in the small print. Parking, once free across the city, has become another profit stream, often $18 to $35 per day. Add-ons like premium Wi-Fi, bottled water, or in-room coffee push the nightly total even higher. A typical $129 room ends up costing $225 to $245 after all mandatory charges. Review sites and complaint threads overflow with anger. "Never again," writes one Bellagio guest after paying $72 in combined resort and parking fees. Data analysts tracking booking flows report that up to 35% of potential guests abandon their reservations as soon as the true total is revealed. For the city's biggest hotel groups, these fees are not just a side hustle, they are essential to the bottom line. But for tourists, the sense of betrayal runs deep. The Vegas promise was always simple: come for the thrill, stay for the value. In 2025, that promise has been replaced by a nightly extraction, where the house always wins before you even reach the casino floor. December 2024, the doors at Ocean One Bar and Grill closed for the last time. For years, the $6 lunch special had been a rite of passage for Vegas visitors and casino workers. Now, a handwritten sign hangs in the window. Inside, the kitchen is dark. Staff emails leaked to local reporters show a scramble. 72 employees, some with decades of service, left in limbo, many without final paychecks or answers. The closure came down to a failed lease renewal, but for workers, it felt like the city's promise of stability had vanished overnight. January 2025 brought more casualties. 4 TGI Fridays outlets across Boyd casinos shuttered at once. The reason given was unsustainable labor costs and collapsing foot traffic, but the reality was starker, a hollowing out of the middle. The Strip's dining scene, once defined by affordable buffets and sit-down chains, now offers only two extremes: fast food or luxury. Mid-tier choices are disappearing, replaced by Instagram-priced snacks and empty tables. Maverick Gaming, owner of 5 Nevada casinos, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in July 2025. Internal risk reports circulated among creditors blamed the collapse on shrinking revenue after Spirit Airlines slashed flights to Las Vegas. The filings list liabilities between $100 and $500 million. For the gaming floor staff and bartenders, it means another round of job fairs and broken contracts. Even Starbucks, a fixture in nearly every resort, has started closing locations across the city, citing high rents and slowing sales. Boarded-up windows stretch from the Strip to the outlying neighborhoods. Each closure leaves behind unpaid wages, broken routines, and a growing sense that the city's value proposition is gone. Where diners once lined up for cheap eats, silence settles. The collapse isn't just in the numbers, it's in the faces of workers waiting for a final check that may never come. On a July afternoon, the Strip radiates with heat, the pavement shimmering at 115 degrees. Just beyond the Bellagio's fountains, tents and tarps crowd beneath the shadow of a neon billboard. Maria Sanchez, 53, arranges bottled water in a folding chair beside a concrete pillar. She once dealt blackjack at the Bellagio for 20 years. In 2023, her job vanished with a round of layoffs. Unemployment ran out, rent notices arrived, and she joined the growing line of former hospitality workers searching for shelter. Clark County's official count lists 7,906 people experiencing homelessness in 2024, the highest in a decade. More than 4,200 have no shelter at all. Encampments now stretch from the I-15 underpass to Tropicana Avenue, close enough that the lights of Caesar's Palace flicker across tent flaps at night. Outreach teams make their rounds, delivering ice and first aid, but the numbers overwhelm every effort. Last year, 147 people died from heat exposure, most found in makeshift camps within view of the Strip. That's a 39% jump in 1 year, a record. Emergency cooling centers fill by noon. Maria describes waiting for a spot, sometimes all night, sometimes in vain. Vegas was supposed to be a city where you could always get back on your feet, she says, voice steady. Now there's nowhere to go. The divide is impossible to ignore. Tourists step from air-conditioned lobbies onto sidewalks lined with tents. Some avert their eyes. Others snap photos. At night, the glow from billion-dollar marquees washes over a patchwork of sleeping bags and shopping carts. In this city built on spectacle, the most jarring sight is the one money can't hide, a growing camp of people left behind, living in the glare of Vegas's broken promise. At the northern edge of the Strip, a colossal sphere rises above the skyline, 366 feet high, 516 feet wide, wrapped in 580,000 square feet of LEDs. The MSG Sphere opened in 2023 after 5 years of construction, its final price tag reaching $2.3 billion. The original plan promised a revolution in live entertainment. Investors and city leaders called it the future, a place where concerts, immersive films, and global events would draw crowds by the thousands. Instead, the Sphere has become a cautionary tale. Internal board minutes from MSG Entertainment, leaked in early 25, reveal a project drowning in debt. $534 million remains outstanding, with creditors circling. The first quarter of 2025 alone saw a net loss of $142.9 million. Anonymous insiders describe frantic calls to renegotiate loan covenants, desperate efforts to book enough events to keep the lights on. "We built a spaceship and forgot to check if anyone wanted to buy a ticket," one programmer says in a message to staff. The opening U2 residency sold out, but the novelty faded quickly. By spring, half the scheduled headline shows had been canceled for poor ticket sales. The Sphere's exterior, designed as the world's largest digital billboard, struggles to attract advertisers at the rates projected in the original business plan. Local analysts note that even at full price, the venue would need to sell out nearly every weekend to break even, a feat no Vegas stage has ever managed. On social media, the Sphere is now a punchline. Tourists snap photos outside but hesitate to pay for entry. Memes circulate comparing the glowing orb to a $2 billion paperweight. Meanwhile, the city's homeless encampments grow in the shadow of its illuminated shell, a monument to excess, burning bright while the city around it flickers. For the workers who built it and the executives who bet on its success, the Sphere stands as a symbol of misplaced priorities, a corporate gamble that never paid off. November 2024, the Las Vegas Strip is barricaded by steel fencing and grandstands. Helicopters circle overhead as Formula One cars roar down Las Vegas Boulevard, their engines echoing off the empty towers. The city spent months promising the Grand Prix would bring a $1 billion windfall. Instead, the numbers tell a different story. $934 million in total revenue, down nearly 40% from the year before. Local business owners like Jenny Hugh, whose print shop sits just off Harmon Avenue, watched traffic disappear overnight. She lost 70% of her revenue during the race closures. Her lawsuit against the Grand Prix organizers now sits in Clark County Court, legal fees already outpacing her lost sales. On race day, luxury suites sat half full. Ticket prices, once advertised at $2,000 for prime seats, dropped to less than $700 as demand evaporated. Vendors along the Strip reported steep losses. Food trucks, souvenir stands, and small restaurants shut their doors for the weekend, unable to reach customers through the barricades. Formula One executives, forced to answer for the shortfall, called the event overhyped and disappointing. For locals, the disruption lingered long after the checkered flag. Lawsuits from small businesses piled up, each one a reminder that the city's gamble on spectacle left its own behind. The promise of Formula One was that a single mega event could revive the Strip, bring back the crowds, and fill the hotels. Instead, it exposed the gap between corporate fantasy and street-level reality. Jenny Hugh's story is not unique. Her fight for compensation is echoed by dozens of others, all asking the same question. Who really profits when the city bets everything on hype? As the barricades come down and the exhaust clears, empty storefronts and unpaid bills remain. The illusion of rescue by big events has faded, replaced by a quieter anger that runs the length of Las Vegas Boulevard. On a Thursday in late July, foot traffic on the Strip thins by midday. Casino lobbies echo with the sound of rolling suitcases, not laughter. Hotel occupancy, once the city's pride, falls below 80%, the lowest in years. Official numbers from June show only 3.1 million visitors, down 11.3% from last summer. Airport arrivals at Harry Reid International have dropped by more than 6% year on year. The city's famous promise, rooms filled, slots humming, crowds at every turn, has faded to a memory. Deserted walkways stretch between shuttered storefronts. Inside the Miracle Mile shops, luxury boutiques display clearance signs, their windows reflecting empty marble floors. Even on weekends, escalators run with no one riding. The city that never sleeps now dozes through long afternoons, its energy drained by a steady outflow of would-be tourists. Beyond the neon, the housing market tells its own story. Nevada once again leads the nation in foreclosure rates. Real estate analysts estimate that in 2025, Las Vegas approaches one foreclosure filing for every 2,300 homes, a pace not seen since the aftermath of the 2008 crash. Luxury listings surge, up 42% from last year, as investors and high-net-worth residents exit for safer ground. Rows of stucco houses in Summerlin and Henderson sit dark, their lockboxes swinging in the wind. Bank notices gather on doorsteps. In the city's core, condo towers that once promised sky-high living now auction off units at a loss. The contraction is everywhere. Realtors report that distressed sales are climbing in every zip code. Mortgage brokers field calls from anxious homeowners, many of them casino workers or small business owners whose hours have vanished with the tourists. The pattern repeats. Empty rooms, empty homes, and a sense of value draining out of the city, one vacancy at a time. Lake Mead sits at just 31% of its capacity, a blue mirror shrinking into desert dust. Every day, the line of white mineral on the canyon walls creeps lower, a silent record of water lost year after year. The Colorado River, once the lifeblood of Las Vegas, now struggles to supply 40 million people downstream. City water patrols fine casinos for fountain waste, but the fountains keep running. Warnings from environmental groups grow sharper. If the river collapses, the city's lights go out. Across from the Crystals Shopping Center, a stretch of prime strip land lies empty. Tillman Fertitta, the billionaire casino owner, bought it for $270 million in 2022. He planned a 43-story resort, a new monument to luxury. Now the project is shelved. Instead, the land serves as a parking lot. $15 for 3 hours, a barren field where dreams were supposed to rise. Fertitta's retreat is a signal. Even the biggest players are stepping back. In a city built on risk, survival has replaced ambition. The crisis is no longer about money. It's about water and whether Las Vegas can outlast the desert closing in. In May 2025, the U.S. House passed the Hotel Fees Transparency Act. On the floor, lawmakers called Las Vegas the poster child for hidden surcharges, citing thousands of complaints from visitors who felt misled by the city's booking practices. The new law requires every hotel and online travel agency to display the full price, including all mandatory fees up front before a guest enters their payment details. No more small print, no more sticker shock at checkout. Consumer advocates, many of whom had spent years gathering guest testimonies from the Strip, celebrated the legislation as a long overdue measure. They argued that the law restores a basic sense of honesty to the travel industry and that Las Vegas's reputation depends on it. Industry lobbyists responded with a mix of support and warning. Executives from the Nevada Resort Association told Congress the law would level the playing field, but also cautioned that new rules could push costs even higher. In committee debate, representatives replayed viral videos of tourists venting about $55 resort fees and $18 bottles of water, framing the crackdown as a response to national outrage. The act's passage does not erase years of damage, but it signals a turning point, an official acknowledgement that the Vegas model of nickel and diming the guest has gone too far. Whether this is enough to restore trust or simply the start of a longer reckoning remains unresolved. In 2025, Las Vegas hotel occupancy fell to 66.7%, the lowest in over a decade, while resort fees averaged over $40 a night across 90 properties. The closure of once iconic venues like Ocean One and the bankruptcy of major casino operators marked a sharp break from the city's affordable past. The $2.3 billion Sphere lost $142.9 million in just the first quarter of the year, and the number of people experiencing homelessness in Clark County rose above 7,900, up 20% in a single year. Congress has now called Vegas the poster child for predatory pricing, passing the Hotel Fees Transparency Act in 2025. But questions remain. Will these interventions restore trust, or has the core promise of Las Vegas been irreparably changed? The evidence shows a city shaped by unchecked greed and unsustainable costs, where even billionaires have walked away. As of now, the dream that built Las Vegas stands empty, documented in numbers, shuttered businesses, and the silence of deserted streets.